What if I told you that the boat manufacturers selling you a center console with a price tag north of $150,000 are wiring it with the same cheap automotive garbage you'd find behind the dash of a 20-year-old pickup truck? That the factory harness hiding inside your console might look like a bird's nest of unlabeled wire held together with twist connections explicitly prohibited under every marine standard on the books? Meanwhile, the guys who actually rig boats for a living have known exactly what separates a boat that performs from a boat that leaves you stranded, dark, and burning through bait in a dead live well. The 5 levels of rigging quality aren't something any manufacturer will spell out for you. Because if they did, you'd realize exactly where they cut corners. Here's what most people miss. Not all rigging is created equal, and the gap between the bottom and the top is so wide it'll make your head spin. We're walking through all 5 levels today. By number 1, you'll understand why elite offshore anglers run systems with twin live wells, fed by a single sea chest pushing 4,500 gallons per hour per pump, why they mount carbon fiber outriggers that spread 6 live baits behind the boat, and why their consoles look like they were wired by aerospace engineers. Hit that subscribe button, because every week we give center console owners the insider knowledge manufacturers don't volunteer. You deserve to know what's behind your dash. Ranked from alarming to absolutely elite. Number 5. Budget wiring. The rat's nest hiding behind your console. This is where too many boats start, and where too many owners never realize they're stuck. Budget-level rigging means non-tinned automotive wire that corrodes the moment salt air touches it. Wire nut connections jammed in wherever someone needed to add a circuit. A generic fuse panel with no labels, no bus bars. Open the console on one of these rigs and you're looking at what riggers call a rat's nest, a tangle where every splice is another failure point. Rigging expert Jim Wentworth, a physics professor who's rigged boats for anglers like Ron and Al Lindner and Gary Roach for 30 years, puts it plainly. Rigging is the most critical phase of any boat. That's when things get screwed up. Some of these boats use SAE-rated wire, which carries 12 to 18% less current than proper AWG wire. Your trolling motor, your electronics, your bilge pump, everything is starved from the moment you leave the dock. Those wire nut connections are explicitly prohibited under ABYC standards. Owners of budget rigs routinely end up bypassing the factory wiring entirely, running power straight from the battery just to get electronics to function. A brand new boat, and you're already working around the factory install. Before you buy any center console, pull the panel and look at the wiring. Twist-on connections, bare copper, no labels. You know exactly what level you're dealing with, and it costs twice as much to fix it a second time. Number 4. Basic compliant. The minimum that should exist but rarely impresses. This boat technically meets the law and does nothing beyond it. Marine-grade wire instead of automotive. Basic circuit protection. Stranded wire rated for at least 75 degrees Celsius, at least 16 AWG. These are the minimums under ABYC and CFR Title 33, which is mandatory, not optional. Why does this beat level 5? It eliminates the most dangerous failures. No wire nuts, no solid core household wire snapping after a season of pounding through chop. But basic compliant does not mean well organized. Wires without proper support, connections unsealed against moisture, panels that are functional but messy, no labeling, no corrosion protection beyond the tinning on the conductor. ABYC recommends limiting voltage drop to 3% for critical circuits and 10% for non-critical ones. A basic compliant boat might hit those numbers day 1, but without sealed connections, that green oxide layer creeps in fast, and your 3% becomes something much uglier within a couple of seasons. The smartest upgrade here: seal every connection with adhesive-lined heat-shrink terminals and add a labeling system. A Brady BMP21 labeler pays for itself the first time you need to trace a circuit. Number 3. Mid-tier quality, where real marine standards start showing up. This is the inflection point where rigging stops being adequate and starts being genuinely good. Every conductor is tinned copper, every strand individually coated to resist corrosion and saltwater. Every connection uses adhesive-lined heat-shrink connectors built for marine use. If you're realizing the difference between a boat that works and a boat that works for years comes down to what's hidden behind the console, hit that like button. It helps this reach people who actually care how their rigs are built. Voltage drop limits are taken seriously here. 3% max for critical circuits, 10 for non-critical. A clean mid-tier setup runs 10-gauge wire from the battery to a Blue Sea fuse block, 14-gauge out to accessories. Every connection is crimped with a ratcheting crimper and proper terminals, exactly as ABYC E-11 requires. Scotch lock taps, gone. Backstab connections, gone. Tinned copper resists the green oxide buildup that slowly strangles bare copper systems. Use Ancor or Pacer UL 1426 rated marine wire. These are the brands professional riggers actually specify, not generic marine wire off a shelf. Combined with proper color coding and labels at both ends of every wire, a mid-tier rig can be diagnosed and expanded by anyone who opens the panel. If you're rewiring your own boat, target this level at minimum. Ancor UL 1426 marine wire only, tinned, stranded. Double clamp every hose fitting below the waterline. Your livewell pump should turn over the tank volume every 10 minutes minimum. Number 2. Professional premium, where riggers build for the long haul. This is where professionals work, and where the gap between good and great becomes undeniable. Every wire mounted on black starboard, fewer holes drilled through the console, terminal blocks at every junction so you can swap a component without re-rigging the system, heat shrink labels on every wire, corrosion inhibitor on every connection, 12-gauge wire throughout. Why does this beat mid-tier when both use tinned wire? Serviceability. Every time you add a fish finder or a pump, you're touching the electrical system. At this level, you disconnect one wire and connect another. At mid-tier, you're cutting and re-crimping. Over the life of a boat, that difference is enormous. Albury Brothers mounts waterproof WeatherDeck fuse panels. Grady White runs Blue Sea 6007 battery switches and 5026 ST blade fuse blocks in stainless steel that doesn't corrode. These are engineering decisions that eliminate failure points. The livewell systems tell the same story. A main 1650 gallon per hour pump backed by an 1100 gallon per hour backup. Oversized drains, level adjustment valves. Your bait stays alive because the system was built with redundancy. Expect to pay $50 to $100 an hour for a professional rigging job, adding $4,000 to $6,000 to the cost of your boat. That money buys a system that works every time. Number 1. Tournament Elite. Every system engineered as a weapon. This is the pinnacle. Every system feeds every other system, and nothing is left to chance. This is Regulator, Invincible, Jupiter Marine, Scout Boats, Yellowfin, and Contender territory. Go big or go home isn't a slogan here, it's engineering philosophy. Elite setups run 20-foot carbon fiber outrigger poles and 15-foot center riggers, each rigged for 2 baits. Deploy all 3, and you're spreading 6 live baits in a tuned pattern across the water column. Rupp Marine puts it plainly, their outriggers are on the majority of the world's premier sport fishing boats, not because they're cheapest, but because they're the benchmark. The live wells are a different species. Twin 34-gallon wells fed by a Hooker sea chest with 2 4,500-gallon-per-hour pumps circulating water inside the chest itself, eliminating air infusion and dry pumps at any boat speed. Your bait doesn't just survive, it thrives. A full NME, a 2000 backbone runs through the console, making expansion effortless. And at this level, that backbone is feeding a full Garmin or Simrad electronics suite, chart plotters, radar, the works. Every fuse block is ignition protected and SAE J1171 certified, a Coast Guard mandate in gasoline vapor environments. The boats pushing this level hard are often running Quad Mercury or Yamaha outboards, and every wire in that rigging package has to perform without compromise. Some of the elite builds are also moving to lithium battery systems meeting ABYC E-11, dropping weight and increasing reserve capacity in one move. If you're building a tournament rig, demand a Hooker Sea Chest livewell system, carbon fiber outriggers from a proven manufacturer, and a full NMEA 2000 backbone from day one. Demand every wire labeled, every connection sealed. The boat you dream about running doesn't have to stay a dream. It has to be rigged right. If you made it this far, you've learned something most people never will. The 5 levels of rigging quality separate the boats that work from the boats that work every single time you turn the key. Smash that like button if this changed how you see what's hiding behind your console. Drop a comment and tell me which level surprised you most. Team Tournament Elite with Hooker Sea Chest livewells, Team Professional Premium with terminal blocks and corrosion inhibitor on every connection? I read every comment. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a video. Remember, the best rigging isn't the one with the biggest price tag on the window sticker. Sometimes it's the one built by the guy who's been wiring boats for 30 years, waiting for you to open the console and finally see what quality looks like.